Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at the various themes in the play The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. In our previous videos, we discussed the plot of the play. We also discussed the characters in the play. We discussed Antonio, we discussed Bassanio, Portia, Shylock, Bassanio, and several other characters. So if you haven't watched those videos, please check the channel. They are already uploaded. So today we are going to be looking at the themes one after another. The first thing we are going to be looking at today is that of money. The theme of money. Money is in fact, the theme of money is a recurrent motif in the play because most of the conflicts in the play revolves around money. Shylock lent money to Bassanio and Antonio stood as the guarantor, and Bassanio was not able to pay the money. And why did Bassanio borrow the money in the first place? Because he wanted to get married to Portia. And why did he want to get married to Portia? Because of the money that Portia has. Portia is a wealthy woman, and Bassanio want to be part of her wealth, and that was one of the major reasons why Bassanio was hell-bent in getting married to Portia. Now, when Bassanio was not able to pay the money, Antonio, who was the guarantor, has to pay for it. And the term of the lending of the money was that the pound of flesh of Antonio will be cut. So money was very dominant. And also, Shylock was a wealthy Jewish man in Venice. And he's a man that is not so comfortable with Christians, especially those who have wronged him in one way or the other before. So now he wants to use the attempt or the inability of Bassanio to pay the money to deal with those who he perceives have wronged him in one way or the other. And Antonio was the first because Antonio was the one who stood as the guarantor. So the issue of money repeat itself several times in the novel, in the play. So we are going to look at another theme in the play, which is the theme of justice versus mercy. Was there really justice in the play? Now, when I read the play the first time, I thought of it. I say, was there really justice? In some way, we can interpret it as there is justice because Shylock wanted justice. The term of the agreement was a pound of flesh of Antonio will be cut. And Shylock wanted that justice to be done by cutting the flesh of Antonio because Bassanio was not able to pay the money, and Antonio was also not able to help Bassanio pay the money. So now, Antonio and Bassanio are Christians. They wanted mercy. They wanted forgiveness. Or they wanted Shylock to be friendly in the way of pressurizing them to make repayment. But Shylock was not comfortable with that. Shylock was more brutal, more strict, more principled, and want justice to be done. And at the end, I can say justice was not totally done because the money was not paid to Shylock. And at the same time, Shylock lost some of his wealth. In fact, Antonio demanded of Shylock to be a Christian for him to be forgiven. So, why Antonio and some other Christian characters in the play are working towards showing mercy, Shylock was standing on the principles of the law, and the law should be applied literally, cutting the pound of flesh. It should not be applied metaphorically, it should be literal. So Antonio's flesh should be cut. Okay? Now let's look at another thing in the play, we have the theme of antagonism. You know something? I believe from my experiences and understanding of the play, Shylock have a lot of bottled hatred for Christians and for some of the people in Venice. So he believed that he has been wronged severally by Antonio, by other Christian characters. So it was his turn now to show a kind of hatred for them by making sure the pound of flesh of Antonio is cut. He believes the Christians were not friendly with him. And he was a Jew. He was a Jew. And now he wants to deal with those that have done something bad to him before. Those who have expressed a kind of hatred for him. He believes some of the characters have expressed hatred for him, and now it is his own time to also antagonize them in his own way. So that was why a lot of antagonism happens in the play. Now look at this theme of friendship. The friendship between Bassanio and Antonio is that of great one. That somebody will stand as guarantor for you to lend money, and even putting his own life on the line for you. So you could see there is kind of a good relationship and friendship between Antonio and Bassanio. Even Gratiano and Bassanio were also good friends. Portia and Nerissa were also good friends. After Nerissa eloped with Gratiano and they came to Venice, so you saw that Nerissa became the friend of Portia. And even Nerissa and Portia disguised later as lawyers to defend Antonio and Bassanio in the court. So there is this kind of atmosphere of friendship that runs through the entire play. Okay? I cannot really say who is a friend of Shylock, because his friendship with people is not that of deep one, something that he can easily express hatred for them. And at the same time, when the person wrong him, he cannot forgive on the basis of friendship. So there is a good relationship and friendship between Bassanio and Antonio, Gratiano and Bassanio, and Portia and Nerissa. Okay? Then let's look at another theme in the play. We have the theme of revenge. You know, this is one of the most popular themes in the novel. So, in the play, sorry. One of the most popular themes in the play. But was there any revenge at all? Let's take a look at the play. Now see it. Shylock wanted revenge because he has been wronged by some Christian characters in the play. Now he wanted revenge by cutting the palm of flesh of Antonio, applying the terms of the agreement literally. But at the end, was he able to do that? No. We can sympathize with Shylock after learning of the abuses he has suffered in the hands of some Christian characters before. Then he soon become blinded by his desire for revenge. And above all, he wanted a kind of justice that will teach those who have wronged him before a bitter lesson. So he wanted revenge. So we can see that at the end, he was not able to get the revenge because the stiffness and expertise of Portia, even though Portia is not a real lawyer, he's just a disguised lawyer, but she was able to save the life of Antonio. So we can say that, okay, Shylock was not able to revenge. Who else again revenge in the play? The others, like Antonio, they forgave Shylock and said the only condition for Shylock is to convert to Christianity, which she later converted. But I can say from my feeling from the play that even Shylock was not comfortable being a Christian. He preferred his Jewish lifestyle. Okay? So the revenge in the play was not that of somebody taking the pound of flesh of Shylock taking the pound of flesh of Antonio. Now look at another theme in the play: law and justice. Everything that played out in the courtroom was an attempt to establish law and justice. Shylock, he was a firm believer of the rule of law, and he insists that the bond he made with Antonio be honored and should be interpreted literally by the court. No, you can see that his rigid adherence to the law results in his own downfall, because Portia uses technicality in the law to strip him of both his wealth and his religious identity. So the play questions whether justice based strictly on the literal interpretation of the law is truly just, and whether mercy and compassion should play a role in legal decision. Was there really justice? The money was not returned to Shylock, and Shylock even lost some of his wealth. Antonio did not repay the money again. So was there really justice? Now, at the same time, did the law permit the use of mercy as a legal process? Oh, the Christian characters often talk about mercy, but show little of it to Shylock in the play, leading to a morally ambiguous resolution. You want somebody to show you mercy when you are wrong, but you don't want to show mercy to the same person. And that is what happened between Shylock and some of the Christian characters like Antonio, Bassanio, Portia, and Gratiano. Okay? Now let's look at another one. We have the theme of Christianity and Judaism. In the play, these two religions run parallel. And at certain time, they meet, but the meeting point was not that of friendly atmosphere. We saw that there was prejudice between Christians and Jews in the play. Shylock, a Jew. Antonio, Bassanio, Christians. Now, a Christian borrowed money from a Jewish person and was unable to pay. Now, according to Jewish religion, it's eye for eye. You do me something, I do it back. So Shylock wanted that interpretation of his religious ideology to happen between him and the debtor, Bassanio and Antonio. So why Antonio may embody the kind of Christian value of forgiveness, we see that Shylock doesn't like such kind of philosophy. He wants a pound of flesh. The law should be applied literally. Okay? So we see in the play that while the play ultimately celebrates the merciful and the Christian approach to Antonio, the fact that Portia must explain mercy to Shylock showcases how his ruthlessness is due, in part, to his own religious belief and not simply to his prejudice against Christians. He wants the fulfillment of his own religious ideology. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Borrow money if you refuse to pay. Oh yeah, the bond should be established. Okay? Now, another theme in the play is that of love. There was romantic love between Bassanio and Portia, Then we have another one between Nerissa and Gratanio. Very romantic. There was love between Bassanio and Portia. And Bassanio was able to marry Portia. And at the end of it, it was a kind of a achievement for Bassanio because he wanted to marry Portia because of her wealth and because of her beauty. Now he has achieved the two by getting married to her. And Gratiano also wanted Nerissa, the daughter of Shiloh. And at the end, both of them eloped together. That is another kind of you see the price Nerissa paid for love. So there is a theme of love in the play also. Now, these are the 8 themes, major themes in the play. In our subsequent video, we'll be discussing the literary device, the dramatic devices, the figures of speech used in the play. Now, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you get notified when the new video will be uploaded. Okay? Have a good day and make sure you subscribe and share the videos. Okay? Have a good day. All right. Bye.